In celebration of the Tower Award's 25th anniversary, presentation created the inaugural Mother Catherine Spalding Visionary Award. This award honors a woman who has lived her life as Mother Catherine Spalding did, as a pioneer and a passionate woman of faith.
Well, as a Pres alumna of the class of 1958, Dr. Eileen Winebrenner Kleine exhibited many of the same qualities as our foundress, particularly her innovative spirit and passion for community engagement. Anne passed away in 2019, but she will be remembered for her distinguished career in nursing and her devotion to several local civic and charitable organizations. She was well known for her self deprecating sense of humor that helped put others at ease. Anne's deep faith in God grounded her, and she was an exemplary role model for Pres students. Anne's professional career centered on nursing. She earned her doctorate degree in nursing from Indiana University, and she was the founding dean of the Lansing School of Nursing at Bellarmine University. Over her 17-year career at Bellarmine, she guided the design of programs to meet the needs of working RNs and those nurses living in Appalachia and other outlying areas of Kentucky and the surrounding states. She established and maintained a family therapy practice for several decades, as well as authored books and essays related to the medical field. After retiring from teaching at Bellarmine, she embarked on a national speaking career, sharing her humor and insights with many. Anne served as the chair of the Board of Trustees for Presentation Academy and was an active member of Bellarmine's Women's Council. She was president of the Lambda Psi chapter of Sigma International. She was very active in her parish, St. Agnes. Accepting Anne's award are her daughters, Teresa and Eileen.
Hello, my name is Teresa Canaday, and I'm here with my sister Eileen Foote, and we also have a brother, Paul Kleine, who couldn't be with us today, but is certainly here in spirit. We are honored to accept the award on behalf of our dear mother, Dr. Anne Winebrenner Kleine, proud presentation class of 1958. The fact that this is a new award for Presentation Academy and it's an award for visionaries is so incredibly special to us. We know our mother would have been thrilled. Indeed, our mother was a very unique person in doing things first and in doing things in a groundbreaking way. She was a visionary of what could be for presentation, for Bellarmine University, for her parish, for her family, for herself. She was the founding dean of Bellarmine College School of Nursing. She was also a front runner of women who could do it all. She had an amazing career as a PhD professor in nursing, as a family therapist, as an expert witness, even a public speaker of humor and healing. But she also was truly involved as a mother of three and as a participant in giving meaningful contributions to a long list of religious, civic, and charitable endeavors. And one of her most cherished endeavors was chairing the Board of Trustees for Presentation Academy, something she was thrilled to do because it was her opportunity to give back to her alma mater and to shape its future.
Mom was extremely proud of her Presentation Academy roots, and she enthusiastically looked for ways throughout her life to support presentation so it could continue educating strong, faith-filled women leaders in Louisville. While neither of us attended Presentation Academy, we feel like we are part of the Pres family, given how important it had been for our mom throughout her life. So what were our mom's keys to success? She was willing to dream of what could be, and she would not let anything or anybody get in the way of her dreams. She had the courage to do things differently. Our mother often went against the norm. She thought outside of that box. Again, never letting anyone get in her way. She also knew the importance of having a strong team to work with. Mom was most often that ideal person, but worked best with support around her to help her implement those ideas. She knew the importance of valuing the people who contributed to her achievements. Finally, she was an extremely hard worker. In school, at work, at home, she was relentless, one could say. In fact, at 79 years young, she was still seeing clients, writing her weekly weeks of fun and sending it out to thousands of people, working on writing a book, leading many organizations in Louisville, and being the best grandaunt for her 5 grandchildren. Mom would tell you all of these attributes are possible for each of you and entirely achievable with the strong, faith-filled foundation Presentation Academy is giving you.
Thank you again for this wonderful recognition of our mother and this beautiful award. We're honored to accept it on her behalf.